It's Monday, auction Monday. First item on the list. This is the R series auction, R01. This is a percussion biface that is percussion sharpened, made out of some sort of mystery jasper that I got. I think I got it from a friend who lives in New Mexico, or it's somewhere from the Southwest, I believe. Anyway, it's very difficult to work. It has the same kind of general consistency as raw alabates, but it is more steppy. The light makes it look more orange, so that's why I started the filming without the light. But it's not translucent except a little bit around the edges. I suppose if you thinned it out enough. But anyway, this is offered as just a single rough biface, percussion only, almost 4 3/4, a little over 2 inches. Next is item R02. This is a Marcos style point out of some heat treat from my stash. It is kind of a grayish, yellowish color. Yeah, the natural light, it looks better with the natural light. The artificial light makes everything look more orange. Okay. Next item is R03. This is a Laguna style point, almost 3.5 by 2.5. It's a Texas style point, and this is heat treat. Let's see. It's one of the larger points in here. Let's see. 368 grains. The first one, 1,300 grains. So you kind of get the idea. Okay. Next item is item 04. R04. This one is it's a Carlsbad type of atlatl dart point. It's called a Carlsbad. It's made of some heat treat that was very gnarly. It started out as a big piece, but then I had to whittle it down because it had a lot of internal defects and various things, but it turned out all right. You can see it has little quartz pockets and stuff in it. It's got various shades of different colors. These Carlsbad points were relatively thick, so I didn't have to thin it down to make it look right. Didn't have to thin it down too much, which was good because this has got all kinds of different things going on. But anyway, there's that one. Next item, R05, is a Shumla type, the type I like to make with serrations on them, a little bit exaggerated, a little bit eccentric. Three 1/8 by 1 3/4. Semi-translucent heat treat. Next item is R06. It's a serrated Dalton type made from it is a heat treat. I think it is a West Texas chert. Let's see. You can see the difference in coloration. It's a lighter colored chert. Three and 1/8. All right. We get some close-ups on this one. Started out wider than this, but it didn't look right, so I took it down a little bit. I like it better now. Okay. Next item, another Dalton R07. Very similar type of material. It is also a heat treat. Not translucent. This one is 3 3/8. This is the stone here. It's a different consistency in the middle. Yeah, most of it is this whitish chert, but in the middle of the nodule it had this darker material. Okay. It was kind of difficult to nap through that. All right, next item on the list is 3 arrow points together under one item number. This is R08. This one is a Edwards type, translucent root beerish type chart. This one is a Scalorn made of Georgetown blue. It has a little quartz pocket right there in the center. Little fingernail step fracture right there. I mean, that unreleased flake, I mean. This one is a haze style. Made from some sort of gravel chert. And it is heat treated. I'm pretty sure. Let me think. Yeah, I think it is heat treated. I don't know if I can work this gravel raw, but you never know. It might be raw, but these two are raw here. This one, I think I might have heat treated this particular piece, but it might also be raw, you know. Okay, this one is the largest of the three. This one is a little over 2 3/8 inches long. Okay. Next item, I did this one on video. This is a Dalton R09. This is a beveled Dalton made from Coastal Plains chert, I think. Started out as a Clovis and then I reshaped it. Sorry, but my allergies are terrible today. Acting up. This one is a heat treat, I think. Gosh, let me think about this. It felt in the beginning like it was heat treated. Then during the video I said, "Yeah, it's got to be raw." And now I'm looking at it again, and it looks like a heat treat, but I think it is raw. I think it's just confusing me because it has a lustrous sheen to it. Okay, so it's probably raw. I would say 70% chance for it to be raw. You know, it matters to some people because they like the sharpness of the raw stones. Okay. The next item on the list is R10, and this one is a basalt. It's a volcanic material, easy to nap as long as it doesn't have bad inclusions or cracks. Now this one had some issues, so it was difficult to get this side napped. I think it had an existing crack somewhere on this side. No issues on this side except maybe a little pocket of crystal in there. Yeah, right there. But anyway, I would consider this an art piece, although it might look like a Stockton or something. I don't know. Probably not. But a little over 2.5 inches. Yeah, it's just an art piece. It might look like something else in the archaeological record, but I wasn't going for a specific type. The serrations look like Stockton serrations. That's what kind of brought that up. Anyway, there you go on that one. Next item is a bunch of brokes and a few bifaces. All right, this one is R11. Now, these are all from this particular napping session that I did this week. These are all pieces that I did. Some of them I did on video. This one I did not do it on video. Broke the tip off, but someone might still be able to re-nap it or something. See, I did this one on video as a biface. It's very tough, raw chert of some sort. This one I did a little earlier. It's a heat treat. A little early in the week to start my week off, but I broke the tip off of that, and I said, give up on that one. I did this one on video. A gnarly video. This one I did last night. Yeah, I lost the barb. I was going for a barbed and tanged looking arrowhead. This is a raw piece of root beer chert. Very tough. And I broke the barb off. But you can re-nap it into one of the Southwest styles. The name escapes me right now. But anyway, let me go through this a little faster. I snapped this yesterday, working on the notches. Just a regular bell looking thing. It is a heat treat. This is a bell also. It has some issues in the stone, so I was going to offer it by itself, but I wouldn't offer it by itself with something like this. I don't know if that's a diving flake or an internal crack. It has some issues with the stone. It is a heat treat, but it seemed to be all right. It seemed to be pretty solid, but I kept it relatively thick, so it would hold up. But I'm including that in this batch, even though it's not broken. It's just material that is that had issues. Okay. All right. So this one is a broken Edwards. I suppose you could glue it back together, or you can use it as a study piece, or whatever. Some Edwards are very short. You can resharpen these. You can resharpen this one, I suppose. All right, I broke this one. I think I broke this one on video. This one I did not break on video. I broke it off camera. It's a heat treat. This one I broke, I don't know when. I just found this in my stash. This is a piece of raw Georgetown, and there's a couple dings on there. This is just a practice point. And this one here, I was working on it last night, or the night before, can't remember now, and I knocked off the corner. I said, nah, I don't know what to make from it now. I was going to go for a wide base point, but it's a heat treat. It's got some interesting things going on with it. Pretty easy to nap, but also these are easy to break too. Okay. Next on the list is a box of spalls. This is R12. Okay, this is some sort of stone from the Southwest. I think some people can recognize it by the patterning. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it needs heat treat or if I tried heat treating it and it didn't work. It feels raw. All these pieces feel raw. It feels more like a jasper than an agate. An agate is usually shiny, from my experience. But it might shine up if you heat treat it. Now, I don't know anything about this particular type of stone, so don't quote me on anything on this. This all came from the same batch, but I don't want to deal with this particular type of stone because it might require a very high heat to get it to be nappable, because right now in a raw state it's not that easy at all, especially with the notching. I mean, it'll stall the notches very quick. So if I were to work this, I would try to heat treat it, and if it couldn't be heat treated, I would just not work it. It has a few issues near the cortex, but this is thick enough, I think, that you can skin that off. All right, so these are all together in one batch under that item number R12. Okay. Next is item R13. This one is a batch of bifaces. I'm going to go through these pretty fast. Just a bunch of heat treat stuff that I bifaced out this week. Just to give you an idea, 3 3/8. Okay, just various heat treats from my stash, various Texas cherts. All, like 99% of these things are Texas cherts, but sometimes I find stuff in debitage piles, and I'll bring it home and heat treat it, and they might not be from Texas. So this one's 5 inches. This is a heat treat Edwards chert. This is West Texas stuff. This, I don't know where it came from. It'll have quartz pockets sometimes, but the colors are interesting. Yeah, so this is what I start out with when I'm doing my weekly napping. I just biface a bunch of these out. Okay, so that's this batch. All going together in a priority flat rate box, small flat rate. Next is another batch. R14 is another batch of heat treat. I've got 3 batches of heat treat in this auction. Various cherts, various Texas cherts, for the most part. Once in a while, I think there'll be one that's not a Texas chert, but most of these are Texas, and I would say 90% are heat treated. Once in a while there's a raw one in here somewhere, like this one might be raw, but for the most part they are heat treats. And this is just a regular thin spall. Okay, so these will all fit in a small flat rate box. This is definitely a heat treat. If I can fit a few more flakes, I'll put in some Georgetown flakes with all these, if there's room. Now this one, I think it is a heat treat root beer chert. And then there's this one here. This one, I think it is a heat treat as well, yeah. There's different consistencies in this particular piece. All right, so that's this batch. The largest one here 4 1/8 by 3 1/8. Okay. All right, last but not least, another batch of heat treat. This is R15 heat treated shirts from various areas of Texas. I've just been collecting these pieces over the years, and then when I get a big batch, I'll heat treat a big batch altogether. Most of these are heat treated to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, between 350 and 400. It's definitely a heat treat. Some of these things might be raw. Not sure exactly. So just be aware. 4 3/8. Some of them might be challenging, but for the most part, they're easy to flake. Relatively speaking. So almost, that's like 2 7/8, and then this is almost 4 inches. That's the largest one in here. This West Texas heat treat. Yeah, various. Some are semi-translucent, some are not. This one here, I don't know where I got this from. It's definitely a heat treat, but it's a quartzite. Very rough on this side, but everything else looks like it'll nap well for a small point. All right, another West Texas heat treat, and just a little part of a nodule here. Okay. But this is, I included this, even though it's real small, because it's very easy to nap. And some of you guys want to know what it's like to nap really easy chirp. A really nice heat treat. All right, so here you go. That's R15. Okay. So that's it for the items. I'm going to read the rules out. And for those who would like the rules read out to them so they don't have to read the rules, but they will be in the description. Okay, here we go. This is not a live auction. Auctions will begin at 12 noon or around 12 noon, depending on the upload speeds, on Mondays Eastern Time, and ends at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, the same day. Tonight. It'll end tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain, and 6 p.m. Pacific. Okay? Try not to bid at the last minute. I might not see your bids, or your bids may not post in time. I'll be using YouTube's time tracker to be fair to everybody, but it's not always accurate. Now, when everyone's on at the same time, at the last minute, things slow down and get clogged up. Okay, just be aware. You can bid anytime you want, but just be aware if you bid toward the end, you're going to need a very high connection speed, or you're going to need to type fast or whatever to get these bids in on time. Now, YouTube might not see your time or see your bid in time. And if I'm going by YouTube time, so if you don't win the bid, that's why. You might bid at the time you think is correct, but it won't be according to YouTube, Just be aware of that. Okay. You bid in the comment section. If you haven't done this before, look at the comments and look what everybody else is doing. There's no minimum bid. You can bid 50 cents if you want, but I recommend to bid as much as the shipping. It's free shipping, right? So bid at least $5 because it costs me about $5 to send these things. So you start at $5 and then you'll see what happens. You just put it in the comments. Just comment, I bid $5. All right. I'll pre-populate the comments with the item numbers and a timestamp where the item appears in the auction. Okay. Please bid under the appropriate comment. I'll monitor the comments periodically, but the best way to ask questions or resolve issues is to send me an email. Okay. If you forget how to bid, just remember, just comment under the pre-populated comment that has the item number. You'll see down in the comments, there'll already be comments that I will post in the comment section that have the item numbers and a little timestamp so you can click on the time and get right to the item that that number pertains to. Okay. I will announce the winner by commenting, "Sold, thank you. please email me your name, address, and preferred method of payment to jackcrafty2@gmail.com. There's no way for me to send you a PM if you want one. There's no way for me to send it to you unless I already have your email. So please don't expect me to email you that you've won or to PM you that you've won. Look at the comments and monitor the comments and see if you've won by this notice. I will put in this exact wording under your winning bid comment, but you've got to keep track yourself and send me an email if you won. Okay? In your email to me, please include your name, address, and preferred method of payment, like I said. And also, if there's anything weird, like you have 3 different names for, YouTube, your real name and your PayPal name or whatever, if it's all different, just let me know what these are so I know who you are. All right. Shipping is free unless you're outside of the U.S. So for international shipping, I'll add $10 for first class. I'll add $20 for a small priority flat rate box, and I'll add $40 for a medium priority flat rate box. This is on top of what you bid if you're international. Within the U.S., it's free shipping. Okay. I accept PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, checks or money orders. I can also send you an electronic invoice to your email address that you can pay with a card, either debit or credit card. I will issue refunds if needed. If for some reason you cannot pay, I'll offer the item to the next highest bidder. I will sign all items unless you don't want me to. Okay, please let me know. I use a drafting pen. It's like a marker, very fine tipped. And then I put a coat of varnish over the top so that the ink doesn't rub off. All right. Shipping will begin on Tuesday after the auction. I'll provide tracking numbers. Shipping will be done through the post office with first class package or priority flat rate boxes. If you don't see something you want, or if you have any questions or issues, please email me at jackcrafty2@gmail.com. If you have the winning bid, the highest bid, but I award the item to another bidder because I did not see your bid, please email me and I'll try to make you a duplicate. Now, duplicates are getting harder and harder for me to make because my supply of stone is decreasing, right? Especially with the fancy colors, like something like the Coastal Plains Chert and stuff. If you didn't win that one, I don't have any more Coastal Plains Chert, so I can't make you a duplicate. So it's getting harder and harder. So just be aware, okay? I'll try to make you a duplicate, but it's getting harder and harder. I've made duplicates before, but just be aware of that, okay? Today is Memorial Day. I hope you guys have a great Memorial Day. And I wish you all the best and good luck on the auction. Okay.